Hi everyone. Thank you. Thanks for coming for this first side event of Kaspa in France. I'm really glad to host this event today in EthCC. We have the honor to have Pavel, Denis, and Maya from Igra Labs today to present their project. And you can see the live visualizer of Kaspa. It's mainnet. Let's feel the magic. And yes, I'm really glad to host this event. Thanks for the Hive to help us host the event, and Maxime to give me the name of the bar. And so Pavel, I will let you the presentation. Thanks.
Okay, guys, it's really, I had no idea that it's the first event of the Kaspa community in France. So I think it's historical. And I've been participating in Bitcoin events in 2017. Actually, Bitcoin events not so interesting. Ethereum events in 2017 were really interesting. They were very similar. Like you have people who is very interested in technology, just really motivated to come, and I think that's a great start. And yeah, I wish you guys to just go on the up. Numbers should go on the up. And yeah, it's actually a hard task. Very challenging, but super interesting for me to present not just our project, because I get used to just pitch our thing to people who more or less know about distributed ledger technologies and Kaspa in particular, but I'm not sure. So probably I need to cover lots of ground here. So let's check what's going on here in this room. Who knows about Bitcoin? What Bitcoin is? Okay, that's great. That's fine. Who heard about Kaspa? Great. So yeah, as I said, we have quite a territory to cover. So put it very simply, Kaspa is a very performant Bitcoin. In 2021, Harvard postdoc Jonathan Sampalinsky ideated the new protocol based on graph. And I think this visualization is great. This is actually a real-time visualization from Kaspa mainnet. So you can see what I mean exactly by graph-based blockchain. So you can see that there is a chain of blocks like in Bitcoin, but it's being formed from the graph which formed by the miners. Every square here is a miner. This miner, this miner, the miner. So they all compete for the block. And they create block. So you probably already see what's very special about this technology compared to Bitcoin. So as you probably know, Bitcoin has 1 block per 10 minutes, and Kaspa has 10 blocks per second. So it's really fast. And also it has very comparable security with Bitcoin. Kaspa is a proof of work. So another check. Who here understand maybe this basic difference between proof of work and proof of stake? Okay, that's great. Most people think they understand it, by the way. It's really complex, but the very fundamental level is when you create blockchain based on proof of work, your nodes, your miners should solve a very complex mathematical problem, and this, when they solve it, they can actually build a block. In proof of stake, it's just based on your money. If you have enough money in your node, you can create a block. So proof of stake is easier to build, it's easier to scale, it's more flexible, but unfortunately it brings to centralization of nodes, centralization of capital, and it has worse censorship protection properties compared to proof of work. I won't go into videos about this. I know people who can debate it to the death. Actually, like really interesting to see people like hardcore Bitcoiners protect proof of work against proof of stake in Ethereum. As usual, the truth is out there somewhere in the middle. It's not. I'm not proof of work or proof of stake maxi, but the hard facts are it's harder to attack Bitcoin chain than Ethereum. It's a fact. The hard fact is to revert transaction, to revert block on Kaspa, you need tenfold or like order of magnitude more resources compared to Ethereum, for example. So yeah, proof of work is more secure. So this is the Kaspa. It's very performant Bitcoin, but it lacks just one more thing. It lacks programmability. What's programmability? It's ability to build smart contracts which can handle every possible task, from sending your money to watching your energy market, for example, or whatever you can program, actually. Like you can build any program on chain, and that's called programmability. And this was created by Vitalik Buterin, Gavin Wood, and other very smart people in 2016. They created Ethereum, which is essentially a world computer, which is based on proof of stake. Well, first it was based on proof of work, but now it's based on proof of stake. And Ethereum currently is the top platform for running smart contracts. There are tons of use cases for that. One of them is called decentralized finance. Essentially, we have parallel banking system on Ethereum. So if you're interested in this topic, I really suggest you look into this because it's already built. Like we already have a parallel financial infrastructure on Ethereum. But as I mentioned, proof of stake, unfortunately, is not the best consensus. It's not the best in security, decentralization, and censorship properties. This is why we want to build Igra Network. And here, actually, I think this visualization is great, but I want to put some of my slides here. Yeah. So Igra Network. So yeah, sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I just realized. So I'm Pavel from Igra Labs. Maya here is my co-founder. Dennis here is our OG co-founder and creator of the whole thing. OG Kaspa, by the way, he was in Igra Labs when Kaspa was launched. And we here want to present you Igra Network, which is a real-time programmability on proof of work. So I already told you a little bit about Kaspa. Just to reiterate, it was launched in 2021, fairly similar to Bitcoin. And since then, it was growing organically in active addresses, transactions per second, security, hash rate, and currently it has 2 billion of locked value on this, and it has a hash rate comparable to the Bitcoin in 2016. So I think that's why I think this meetup is really great, because it's reminding me all days of Ethereum. So we very early, what I'm trying to say. We're early, but then we also have 2 billions of locked liquidity, which is also nice. So recently, Crescendo hard fork was launched, unlocking 10 blocks per second, what you saw in visualization. It making Kaspa block essentially the fastest proof of work consensus. So again, it's a great infrastructure, but it lacks programmability. This is why we want to build Igra Network, to use it as a base layer and inherit its speed, security, liveness, and adding unique properties like MEV resistance and atomic composability. I can go into this in details. We recently made a podcast only about atomic composability, so it's not an easy topic. Just to put it like really quick, its ability to call different contracts and different Web3 environments, different rollups in one call, and this call will execute or fail in atomic manner, in all or nothing manner. It's something which current programmable blockchain ecosystem severely lack. So I think I will skip the topic about like new DeFi, which we're going to unlock. I can just tell you, that's Dennis. That's one of the Kaspa core developers. That's mine. So where we are currently now, this slide is only half, it's actually less than a half of applications which are going to be built on Igra. Our ecosystem grows really nicely. We've done actually chase projects chase us because people want to build on blue ocean. And Ethereum ecosystem currently is the red ocean. It's very separated. There are many projects which competing with each other for the fraction of the profit or of the user base. Igra Network want to unlock new market, new infrastructure, and new communities. So I'm really happy to have all these projects, and as I said, it's just half of them. So I want to shout out all the teams who are going to build on Igra Network, which is testnet going to be launched in 2-3 weeks. And then we're going to have mainnet in Q4, and then the sky is the limit. Right after the Kaspa will implement zero-knowledge settlement, we're going to have beautiful things, which I won't explain now, but believe me, this is going to be really great. Like, so we're going to build the blockchain of the new type, which doesn't really have any like similar projects on the market, at least to my opinion. Let's go to and that's I think the most important slide of them all. We want to call all the builders in Ethereum or other ecosystems who want to build on a new system with unique properties, talk to us, and we onboard them. Like, we really welcome and bunch. And yeah, thank you for listening, and I think it's time for some questions. Obviously, it was a lot of things I just throw, so please let me know if I can zoom in on any topic, like any questions you guys may have, please do.
Could you elaborate a little bit on the applications that you developed, and what are the taking advantage of the specific speed of Kaspa?
Yeah, so speed of Kaspa is not unique. What's unique is combination of proof of work consensus, throughput, and finality. You can be super fast. Like, my laptop is super fast. You can make 1 million of operations per second. But then it's not decentralized. It's very much centralized. You can attack it by just taking my laptop from me. So what's beautiful about Kaspa Block is you have high throughput, proof of work security, and sub-second finality. So what you can build with this? On-chain order books. On-chain order books. The problem with the decentralized finance is we currently don't have a proper order books like on any other trading platform, where you can create orders and remove them. And this is the basic of any trading infrastructure. When you have this kind of speed Kaspa offers, you can build really beautiful things. And also, we should mention that gas fees are really low. Kaspa gas fees, like currently they're laughable. I'm not saying they should increase them, but just it's really small compared to what we have in other ecosystems. So I was wondering why, if you want to also add several words about the specifically Athena, like we don't have a slide here, but maybe just about perps, because I think it's really beautiful. And when we started this project, Maya was ideating the on-chain perps. Hyperliquid didn't actually they weren't there. So I think it's a really nice use case which Kaspa can unlock.
The biggest advantage that Igra has is almost like a base rollup, but on a sequencer as an L1. And that really allows us to start having a lot of different smart contract interactions within one block, right? And it sounds like really loaded when you say synchronous atomic composability, but essentially what it would allow is that you have different chains all interacting with different DeFi protocols to have all those transactions happen within one block. What does that allow you to do? You can do a Hyperliquid in one chain, but at an Athena chain, like, you know, Athena, the stablecoin that basically uses like a put ask swap, where the base asset doesn't have to be a big market cap token like Ethereum, but something that's more along like the very long tail of tokens and still have that same risk margin without having to pay for that in fees. That's one. A third thing that can happen is that DeFi builders can start working on risk management systems within their DeFi protocols and not allocate that outside for third parties to do that. Why? Because you're able to have multiple smart contracts interact with one another before you reach finality.
And that's something that you can't even do today, even with like the most highly sophisticated EVM projects that we've just seen come out that enable peer-realized execution. They still have to have pre-confirmation, post-confirmation, and checking every single block. And that creates the kind of latency that doesn't allow different protocols to interact within that one block. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Platform that just came out, or MEVM. And that's something that's very unique to Igra. The other selling point is that we're talking about Igra and Kaspa, but this is just the go-to-market. When this works, the other side is that you can have a ZK bridge to basically tap into Bitcoin liquidity and any other ZK verifiable chain. And all of that happened and end up settled on Igra through the Kaspa sequencer as the consensus. And that's kind of big. And if you're looking at all the other L1 EVMs, a lot of people are throwing about the word modular and parallelized execution. But essentially what they're doing is they're reconstructing a DAG structure to be the bottleneck of how they will enable high TPS for the millions of what they claim is going to be 1 million TPS. We're going for the one DAG chain, i.e. Kaspa, that already has billion secured on that. And using that kind of security proof of work to rethink how an EVM can function in a high volume trading business. Is that what we wanted?
Another aspect of Kaspa, it's not specific to Kaspa, but it would be the same for any programmable proof of work, is the nice separation between miners and execution layer. Meaning that what specifically means for us, it means miners has no idea about the transaction content, so they cannot rearrange it or censor it or do whatever which currently possible on any Ethereum compatible blockchain, unfortunately. It's called MEV, miner extracted value. It means it's fully accepted practice, unfortunately, in ecosystem. Some really smart people call it like gravity law. You cannot fight gravity, you just will fall eventually. But the thing is, on a system like Kaspa, gravity doesn't exist. Probably some other forces exist. But you cannot take money from users just easily because you cannot look into the envelope. On proof of work, you don't know what it was inside. So miners compete. I want this back. So in this visualization you saw, the creation of this graph, what's beautiful about it is miners actually compete for the transactions. They compete for reordering them. So you can actually make them pay you, or at least to provide you better service comparing to Ethereum. In Ethereum, validator decides, block builder decides. Users just, you cannot control the process. Here in Kaspa, what's beautiful is you can actually finally be more or less in control of ordering of your transactions. And we think it's big. We think it can be a foundation for what we call fair DeFi. It's not like because the current DeFi is fully unfair, it's because we think this system can do much better. And then we see how it's used, by the community, by users, by protocols, by builders. We need builders for this system. As I said, that's our most important task currently. So yeah, but I'm also very happy that we kind of got the word about Kaspa across because we think it deserves more attention. It's interesting how infrastructure of such properties with this amount of users, validators, liquidity is completely ignored by the market. It's for me it's a riddle. I don't get it. It's somehow, but sometimes it happens. It's like you speak to someone about the great book and they tell you they never read it and they're like, but it's the best book ever. And then, no, I never heard of it. Never heard about the guy. So it's the same with the Kaspa. You just have to explain it to people and then people look into it, into white papers and then start to understand it and then they get it. So yeah, if there's only one takeaway from this event, just look into Kaspa. Bitcoin is great, but Bitcoin is not going to evolve, unfortunately. Bitcoin is a digital gold. No one is changing digital gold. Kaspa, it's a better infrastructure. Maybe it's a digital silver, but I think it's just a better idea, which is going to evolve. And I, as a human being, I prefer things which evolve and not just lying there dead. So, yeah. That's what I like about this. And the resilient, yeah, interoperability is a great topic, but I think we can say it real time. Yeah, I know. I understand it was a long answer to the short question, but yeah, I hope it was answering it.
Yeah. I have a question. How did you bring to manage with European regulation about the stablecoin and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's a good part of my year I spent with our legal team. We're incorporated in Switzerland, so we have as association, as a non-profit. That's actually pre-DAO stage. Our next stage will be creating a DAO around this. So we cannot.
That has nothing to do with the stablecoin with the EU. That has everything to do with MiCA and how the EU defines tokens for passport for Igra and how that's distributed. But for stablecoins per se, there is a very specific form of legislation that has to be accepted by the EU. But right now, we don't have the stablecoin on Igra. We are discussing one through the Hong Kong regulator. But this is a permissionless chain. Whoever wants to build one, the EU will be happy to facilitate all of it.
It's a really interesting aspect about legal and decentralization. Actually, current legal climate gently push you towards decentralization. Because as a company, you don't want to control other people's money, because then you require license and then you will get eventually into trouble in the modern world. But when you run this decentralized system, you're actually fine because it's being run by community. So that's what we like about this.
I will add this, that when Igra Labs launches the chain, I think it's an amazing opportunity to do a replay of Athena through different coins on specific tokens. And I think you're going to see more algo stable coins when builders understand the possibilities because of Kaspa.
Because I'm gonna tell you the truth. I own a payment solution that allows business owners and companies to be paid in crypto, automatically convert to euros instead of the backing up of the company. And it can be a great thing for the transaction, you get your fastest transaction, and it can be great to build on the Kaspa that in a payment solution we have to be very carefully about the MiCA.
Yeah, so two things I think are very separate. One is on-chain payment networks, which I'm a big fan of. I had met two projects specifically that are building that. And two, issuing a stablecoin on-chain, whether it's centralized or decentralized. Those are two very different regulatory issues with two very different regulatory, legislative requirements.
But bottom line, it's all solvable. It just requires some paperwork and some patience. And or good partners who can just take it on them, in terms of legal support and stuff like that.
You need a Trump in the EC.
Actually, I'm really happy to have several teams and ecosystem who is already looking into this direction, including that way also payment system in Hong Kong and stablecoins. So yeah, it's all working together. So if you want, we can connect you. We're actually going to open Discord really soon. Open Discord for everyone. People keep asking us where we have very limited social presence. It's by design. Basically, it's only through podcasts and X. But now, we're going to open Discord so people can ask us questions directly because it's about time. I think
under shill and over deliver.
Yes, that's us. Yeah, I cannot even. It's a beautiful project. It's really tech-wise it's beautiful. It's simple. It's clean, but still there are many very complex aspects we have to tackle before going to mainnet. This is why we released testnet first relatively early. We spent less than 3 months between devnet and testnet, but then testnet is going to be a real test for, for truthful, all these weird scenarios. I don't know if you saw, we have a really elaborate post about reworks and reorganization. It's a complex topic, so we want to iron this out, make sure that we support it on layer 2 without glitches. We're going to publish our light paper in July as well. So yeah, watch this space. We're going to have lots of interesting things.
3 things that we do need one is more builders. People to come in and it's very easy, and even just for the ecosystem itself in terms of like everything else that's not necessarily on page. 2 is help with institutional adoption. We were having discussions over the last 2 days with different players from the Ethereum ecosystem of how their infra can basically be more compatible with Igra Labs when it launches. And 3, we're also looking for people to run as many Igra nodes. And I think that's pretty important because we want to be decentralized and have people play around with the testnet, give feedback, test us, fight us, in terms of test how, let's all kind of get together and try it out and get all the bugs and surface them up before going live.
Yeah, what you said. More builders, institutions, more node runners.
And what will you do about incentive for node builders and node guys who not an easy one, I admit.
At midnight we're going to make a post. I hate to summarize it because there are lots of aspects there, but yeah, there is an early participation program and the details will be in this post. So watch.
You know what? That's a great question.
Just too early.
No.
5 hours early.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's a great question because A, we have an answer, B, we already have a post, and 3.
Launch it.
And 3, there is still time. Yeah, that's. But we did it on purpose. Obviously, we wanted to come here and basically announce it here in Cannes. I think it's great. So yeah, it's happening. It's happening. You know, like in the office. It's happening. Maya, you know all this. Finality? Can we discuss finality?
Yeah.
Like we I think finality is one of the most underappreciated topics in computer science. When I was looking into this, huge kudos to Shai Vygotsky, who I think should come back and help Kaspa to build proper narrative. He was really good at it, and it's really a big loss, I think, for community. But yeah, this guy actually explained how finality works in simple terms. Finality in the blockchains is the time after which reverting of transaction is economically, it doesn't make any sense economically. It's really hard to revert the transaction. For some blockchains, we're talking about minutes. For some blockchains, we're talking about days. And most of the optimistic rollups actually have a 7 days finality. So Kaspa, by its properties, has a several seconds finality or sometimes sub-second finality. It's still probabilistic. That's very important word here. The keyword is probabilistic. It's not deterministic, meaning that there is still very small possibility, very small probability that your transaction will be reverted. And that can happen with you guys on Bitcoin. It can happen in Ethereum. So you know there is a possibility it will be reverted, but this possibility comparable with the chance that Earth will crash with asteroid immediately. So we're fine. We're still alive. So means so same with blockchains. We build probabilistic systems. It's not deterministic. It's actually the big fallacy. People think that since it's software, it just works. Your transaction is there. It can never be reverted. No, any blockchain can be attacked. It's not as easy as bank. To attack a bank, it takes really small effort, unfortunately. Or some website, yes, you can go to the dark market and download tools for several $100s and then attack almost every website which is out there and just bring it down. Non-solicited, it's not an advice. Don't do it, please. But blockchain, it's really hard to attack, but there's still probability of attacking it. So finality is the time after which attack doesn't make any sense for attacker, to put it very simply. Thanks, Shai. So guys, I hope it made sense. Really glad to be here on the first French Kaspa meetings. And yeah, let's make it like in 5 years again. And I hope you will all be already following Kaspa and you will be asking more questions. But yeah, thanks everyone for organizing it. Thanks the Hive Bar for hosting us. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.